Welcome to My Watches with Ben. Today's video is about the wristwatch type of GADA watch. Go anywhere, do anything. Go anywhere meaning you can take it to nice places, wearing nice clothes, fancy restaurant, graduation, opera, wedding, board meeting. And then do anything meaning that it's rugged and robust for your outdoor activities. Hiking, going to the beach, going on vacation, going to the park on a weekend. Essentially, the bottom line is having maximum versatility for use in most everyday scenarios. It's the fabled all-rounder. It works with flip-flops and dress shoes. That's the idea. Yes, this video series contains all the GADA watches I could find in today's market, 374 specific watches from 241 brands. I said multiple videos. The content is going to be released on a weekly basis. 5 videos. Today, I will show you what I consider to be the best GADA watch out of 92 specific watches in the affordable price range. So today's just affordable. I divided the total population into 4 segments and with roughly equal numbers. And so that's why it's $350. There are timestamps in the description for the different segments in this video. So if you only have 15 minutes or so and you just want the top 5 list at the end, please skip ahead now using the timestamps in the description. Why did I make this video series? Made it for a couple reasons. First, I didn't really have good clarity on what a GADA watch is, and I've been unsatisfied with the explanations other people have given, and so I wanted to explore it a little more deeply. Second, I wanted to meticulously evaluate everything on the market and find out for myself and for other people what is the best watch for this particular use case. Go anywhere, do anything. So that's what I'm doing in the video. I've seen people say all kinds of different watches are GADA watches, and I'm skeptical. You know, other people make best of lists, and I've seen best of GADA lists, but I doubt how thorough they are. That's the reason for number 2, why I meticulously evaluate all the watches, is I'm just skeptical that people are really able to understand everything that's out there and have a somewhat objective way of figuring out what's actually the best. And my doubts were confirmed, as they are in all these videos I do, because in the final 10, there are at least 3 watches that don't appear to be on anybody else's list. At least these 3 watches, 3 or 4, are not getting mainstream recognition. So that'll be fun at the end for you to see what those are. In this video, we'll explore the nuances of the GADA concept. Over the course of the series, I will rate watches you've heard of, such as the Rolex Explorer, Tissot PRX, the Tudor Black Bay Pro, Hamilton Murph, the Seiko Baby Alpinist, the Oris Big Crown Pointer Date, the Junghans Max Bill, Citizen Garrison, as well as a lot of watches you probably haven't heard of, such as the Henry Archer Vesterhav, the Malm Dalton, the Nodus Canyon, Circula Facet, Milu Snowstar, the Pitzman 2, and tons more. I really go for those micro brands. I like to pull those out and see if any of these micro brands can compete with kind of the big boys. And they can. They really can. A kind viewer, Ender1077, suggested that I break up the video into multi-part series. You know, he said he likes the videos I put out, but can you please break them up into smaller chunks and just release them on a more manageable schedule? Yeah, I thought about it a bunch, and he's totally right. So that's what I'm doing. I will release the videos once a week and then live stream the final runoff / top 10 on July 10th at 8 o'clock Mountain. And then I'll edit that video, the final runoff, to make it look a little nicer and everything, and put it as the 5th video. And then it'll just be a playlist of all these videos. The 4 price categories I'm going to cover are number 1, affordable. This is going to be the first video. You know, you'll have Seikos, Smiths is in there, Tissot, PRX Digital. Citizen is a big player. The next one is quality. We're going to see the PRX Powermatic 80. Citizen is still in the quality category. You're going to see some micro brands like RZE, Formex. We'll see that Hamilton Khaki Field Automatic. The premium price category, you're going to see Ball. You'll see Frederic Constant, Oris. There's that Zen 556A. Circula Facet. That's a pretty cool looking one. And then finally, the last category is luxury. And this is watches over $2,500. Includes the big boys. So Rolex Explorer, Omega Railmaster, Hermes, Crador, Bulgari, Nomos, Audemars Piguet, Patek Philippe, Vacheron Constantin, stuff like that. All right, for this video, here's the roadmap. I'm going to give you a backstory, cover the philosophy of the GADA watch, and then show you the 92 watches that are in the affordable category. Yeah, I'll do the bottom 82, and then the top 5 will be at the very end. Again, there are timestamps for the different segments. If you don't see your favorite GADA watch in the video, or if you disagree with my take on this, I'm sure there will be a lot of people who do. Please let me know in the comments. I do think that's really valuable to have that community feedback and for people to share their opinions on all of this stuff. And then with this many watches, it's possible I missed some. So if you ask me, how did such and such watch do, I'll plug it into my system and just tell you what the score is. If you're interested, I'm happy to do that, and I've done that in the past. All right, let's move on to the GADA watch backstory. Okay, backstory about GADA watches. So I've learned from comments already, from Watch Crunch posts, and from the couple videos I've put on YouTube already on this. People have very different ideas about what a GADA watch is. Some say that it should be cheap, and then some say it should be more expensive. I've been told that the Casio F91W is the perfect GADA watch, and also that like a big Breitling chronograph is also the best GADA watch. Yeah, there's very diverse opinions on this. People have advocated also for dive watches being the best GADA watch. I can see people's points, and honestly, as my buddy Johan said, a GADA watch is what you think a GADA watch is. It's individual. It's what works for you. It depends on the dude and the mood, is what he said. And I totally agree with that. That's a valid point. However, it doesn't work so well for me trying to find out what's the best if I say it's different for everybody. So this whole video series is my opinion on what's the best GADA watch. And for the sake of attempting to determine a best of, I had to narrow down the philosophy. I had to say this thing's good, this thing's bad. So that's what I did. And then a little more short background, how I got to this point in the first place is back in March 2024, I made an epic video on field watches. That video is still on a daily basis getting crazy amounts of views. I still don't understand it. YouTube is weird. But clearly people are interested in field watches. And something I noticed when I made that video is that there's a lot of field watches that just didn't score very well under my scoring system. Because I tailored that scoring system around a traditional field watch. Like the World War watches, those sorts of things. Military Arabics, stuff like that. And I was thinking it had to be super robust. Watches like the Traska Summiteer, which were clearly high quality, just didn't score well on my system. So over the course of a year, as I chewed on the idea, I realized that there are subcategories of field watches. I broke these subcategories out into GADA, or everyday, modern, and traditional. And the modern ones are like your G-Shacks. The traditional ones are like the World War watches, as you can see in this diagram. There's a place for all three field watches, and I'll get to the other two. Today, and in this series, I'm covering the GADA watch. And that brings me to the philosophy. As I mentioned at the top of this video, I conceive of a GADA watch as having maximum versatility. You can wear it to a large number of situations. Ideally, you can go anywhere and do anything with the watch that you come across in your everyday life. It's the fabled all-rounder that people talk about, as Johan put it. It's sophisticated and tooly. It's rugged and refined. It's elevated and useful. It's an accessory and a tool. I came up with the idea of a continuum of formality. Let me show you what I mean. And this is from a live stream I did. All right, you see here these kind of gradients here. So the idea behind a go anywhere, do anything watch is that you want it to be suitable for a lot of different scenarios in your everyday life. And so scenarios in your life, going to an office job, going on a hike, they're going to kind of be on this spectrum here: formal, semi-formal, casual, utilitarian. Different situations you're in are going to call for different clothing and like watch choices. And so the watch may not be suitable for all of them. The GADA watch in particular excels at ticking so many boxes. You can wear it in the most amount of scenarios over other types of watches. So that's the idea here. You know, for formal and semi-formal, you want a sophisticated watch. For casual utilitarian, especially utilitarian, you want a rugged watch. And yes, some watches can do both. That's the idea. GADA watches can do both. So I'm going to show you a few different watches and just how they would kind of fit into this spectrum. All right, so here are a couple examples of straight up GADA watches. These are great GADA watches, the Patek Philippe Aquanaut 5167A, the Rolex Explorer. Both these are good GADA watches. In my opinion, they work in a lot of scenarios. I think you can wear the Patek Philippe to the wedding. I think you can take it hiking. So that's what we've got going on here. Rolex Explorer, not as dressy as the Patek Philippe, but still very sophisticated looking, but can also look very tooly. It can be suitable for your hike in the field. Next, I'm going to look at, these are often called GADA watches, but they don't go very rugged. And that's Christopher Ward the 12 and the Tissot PRX. So that was the idea there. And then you've got more utilitarian watches that maybe not even should be called GADA. So we've got the RZE Valor 38. On that bracelet, I think it's suitable to take to the office, but not much more than that. I mean, if you're going to some important function, you probably would prefer something a little bit more semi-formal or formal. And then finally, we have these watches that are really just dress watches. I included them in the video. They didn't score well. Neither one of these scored very well. They're way too dressy. They're not even really everyday. They don't, it's a little bit too fancy for the office, in my opinion. I'm talking about fashion, and fashion is subjective, of course, and it moves over time. It's not always the same. But yeah, this Van Doren Runda, it's more formal than semi-formal. And same with the Longines. You can make it work in some of the more semi-formal events, but you're not going to be taking it to your barbecue. I think that's a little bit weird to take it to your barbecue. All right, hopefully that illustrates for you how I frame this. Please let me know what you think a GADA watch is. Be happy to discuss. So what are some hallmarks of a GADA watch? It needs to be robust. It's not going to fit into that casual or even utilitarian side of the equation unless it's robust. 100 meters water resistance, screw down crown, sapphire crystal. These are standard features on GADA watches. Second, it looks good, but not too fancy. It's not a dress watch. Next, versatile, restrained colors, restrained design. Simple design, clean lines, clarity. Another factor is timelessness. If it's your one watch, if it's your all-rounder, you want it to last for decades. You want it to look good and have continuous relevance. You want to avoid the fads. Craftsmanship. Iconic silhouettes are good. In my opinion, iconic silhouettes are important. You don't want the watch just to look like everything else. You want it to match something for you. You want it to be distinctive. It should have heritage. So brand strength is important with a GADA watch. I've got a bunch of cheesy Chinese knockoffs. They don't really fit the bill. In my opinion, a GADA watch is something a little bit aspirational that you can hang on to and pass down. And, you tell people what it is, and you don't have to say it's a parsnip or you have to say it's a Parnas or what is this, Didun design. You don't have to say that. You can say, oh, it's a Citizen, it's a Seiko. The bracelet. This is a distinctive hallmark of a GADA watch. When a GADA watch if it doesn't come on a bracelet at all, I'm thinking personally, okay, what can I get aftermarket? Like with Seikos, a lot of times they don't come with bracelets. Fortunately, there are makers like Uncle Straps that makes bracelets for Seiko models. So that's really good. Now, okay, why bracelet? I can't think of any everyday scenario where a bracelet is going to be wrong. For example, with leather, like if you have a black leather strap and you have a brown belt, that is wrong stylistically. Some straps look more rough, some look more sophisticated. There's not a lot of middle ground with the leather. The bracelet kind of spans everything stylistically. And, one limitation is that the bracelet's not great for hiking. Although I think a bracelet on a hike is better than a NATO strap in the boardroom or at a job interview or something. That NATO's a little funky for semi-formal occasions, whereas the bracelet can do both. You can wear a bracelet on the beach, it doesn't look out of place. But yeah, that limitation, hiking in the battlefield, the bracelet's not ideal. There's a saying that ounces equal pounds and pounds equal pain. And the bracelet itself weighs the same as the watch head. It's like 3 ounces on its own. You don't want that when you're hiking. Even a heavy watch head, I found out when I was comparing altimeters, the plastic Casio felt so much better. I had a plastic Casio on one hand and a big heavy steel Citizen on the other. I could really tell the difference. And it was much more pleasant to wear the plastic watch for the hike. So we're trying to hit all bases. You can't do everything perfectly with a GADA watch. There are compromises that you have to make. I think the bracelet is a great compromise. The bracelet looks nice. Even if you bang up a bracelet a little bit, it still has a semi-formal look. It can still work. That NATO strap, even if it's fresh out of the box, just doesn't work right for semi-formal things. And the bottom line here, I guess is my last bullet point, it's best to have multiple strap options. What's really best is to be able to swap the strap for different circumstances. And I won't pretend that I swap straps very often. I pretty much settle into what I like, but I have a very large collection of watches, and I can just pick a watch that's perfect for the scenario. So that's why I don't swap straps. But if I had a one-watch collection, you better believe I would be changing the strap for a hike versus a job interview or something like that. I wouldn't always have the same strap. As other collectors have noted, having different straps is almost like having different watches, because the strap completely changes the character of watches and the feel on their hike. Therefore, throughout the video, I will present the watches, at least the good ones and the okay ones. I will show you a picture of them with an alternate strap choice that I just mock up. I'll show you one alternate strap, either dressing it up or dressing it down. But I think that's part of the idea behind GADA watches, is that the watch can pinch hit. It can do different things depending on the circumstances. Okay, less desirable attributes of the GADA watch. Number one is gotta be that leather strap. It really limits what you can do with your watch when it comes on a leather strap. Because that's the thing. If it comes on a bracelet, you like leather, sure, put it on a leather. At least you still have the bracelet as an option. It's very difficult to find a bracelet that matches the watch well, an aftermarket bracelet. So a leather strap is not ideal. And the other thing, yeah, black straps are too formal. They're often too formal. And then the brown ones are often too casual, or they don't match your belt or your shoes. Okay, other less desirable attributes is an imbalanced dial. That 3 o'clock date definitely knocks off the balance. I think ideally you do want a 6 o'clock date. I thought about putting that in the scoring system, and I didn't do that, but these are just hallmarks of a GADA watch, is a balanced dial. Balance with the text. You want everything to look clean and nice. And so you don't want weird stuff going on with the watch. The next one that's bad is fads. You don't want a fad watch. You want your watch to be timeless. You don't want aggressive textures or rough lines. It shouldn't have an overly rough or militaristic appearance. Another less desirable attribute is flagrant copies of other watches. They call them homages, like this AP Royal Oak homage I have. I don't think it's great. It's well, okay, a couple of people have asked me about it, and it's been a little bit uncomfortable to say, like, oh yeah, this is just a knockoff made in China. I don't think that's the best thing. It's better to get an original design. Another less desirable attribute, the last one I have here, is being too dressy or fancy. I mentioned that already a little bit. The GADA watch is not a dress watch. It can be worn in some dressy occasions, but that's not the point. You want to be able to wear it to the beach, to the barbecue. So it has some alligator leather strap. It's all dainty. I don't think that's best for a GADA watch, and that's my opinion. I've received that feedback that in the past, people wore their dress watch everywhere. Well, the past was more formal. We're living in a more casual time now. And yes, if you just want to be retro and be like the past, wear your dress watch everywhere. I'm not going to judge you for that. I'm just, the philosophy of a GADA watch is to kind of be able to be casual and semi-formal, fit all of that at the same time, and the dress watch is just too formal. Okay, other notes on philosophy. I did include some digital watches, but not many. You don't really want 1 billion complications on your watch when you're in the boardroom. You don't want alarms going off and all that sort of thing. I don't think a watch with 1 billion complications is the best move for a GADA watch. Yeah, one note about digital watches. In modern times, there is this kind of fitness focus that is bringing more casual items of clothing into semi-formal arenas. It's kind of the athleisure phenomenon. And this includes accessories such as watches. So you'll see people, with a watch that counts their steps or whatever, in all sorts of scenarios. They just wear it everywhere they want to go. It'll have a silicone strap or something, some kind of smartwatch, and people are just wearing them everywhere. So I thought there could be a place for digital watches in the GADA context. So there are some digital watches in here. Also, I know some people will disagree with my approach, but I tried to exclude pilot watches and dive watches. I know that's going to turn some people off. I understand the argument that they can serve a GADA purpose. This all came out of me re-examining the whole field watch universe. That's what the point of these 3 video series is about. I think that the field style GADA watch is kind of its own category. The traditional field watch is already a balance of form and function with minimalist tendencies and subdued colors and designs. So the field watch is kind of a natural fit with the GADA philosophy. Those two go together really well. You look at dive watch, those are more exuberant, mostly. I know there's some subdued dive watches with black dials. I know some dive watches can serve as a GADA watch. It's just, I'm already looking at 374 watches. I decided to focus on field. There is one exception in this series, and that is the Zin 556A. That's more of a pilot-y style watch, but so many people requested it that I just had to put it in. People said, I asked specifically, should I do the Zin 556A? And I got multiple comments saying, yes, that needs to be in your video. And yes, it does score well as a GADA watch. It does have a kind of a military look to it though. So whether it's going to be in the top 10, you'll have to wait and see. It is very high scoring though. If you want to see more pilot watches, I have a simple pilot watch video that covered those. And a lot of those could serve as a GADA watch, but I didn't include them in here because of the field focus. All right, that's it for the philosophy. Now on to the methodology. All right, so how did I evaluate the watches? To make things more objective. I'm not going to say perfectly objective. I think that's impossible. I think perfect objectivity is impossible, even for like AI and stuff. Every perspective is colored through the lenses with which we view reality. And so everyone is subjective. But I tried to be as objective as possible. I developed a scoring system to rate the watches within the price categories. Well, okay, I said I tried to be as objective as possible. A lot of the GADA watch has to do with style and aesthetics. And that's not an objective thing. So the scoring system itself includes more emphasis on subjective elements than I've done in the past. There's 3 items at the bottom of the scorecard related to subjective elements: brand strength, field watch aesthetic, and GADA watch aesthetic, like everyday aesthetic. That does involve subjectivity. The result I was going for, and achieved with great success, is that my top scoring watches also, they have great specs, but they also fit the part of a GADA watch. That's what I was going for. If you want more information about that scoring system, I covered it in a live stream, and I won't include it in this video. It's very long. It's there if you're interested, and I put a link in the description. All right, so here's how the scores ended up for the different price categories. The majority of these are actually not recommended, which is wild. Yeah, only 49% are passing. 14% of these watches are in the good grade category. 35% are in this yellow okay category, grade C+ or C. And then 51% here are in the red. So that's how it shook out. Most of them not recommended. I set the cutoff at C-. That's just how I like to think of it. I consider C- failing. I know in our modern times, they're changing it so that 66 is still a B or something in some of these school districts. But the way I grew up, darn it, C- was failing in my parents' eyes. So yeah, you want to C or higher. All right, well, let's go through the watches now. And here's an overview. Here's all the watches in the affordable price range. I've grayed out the top 5. You may be able to tell what they are. Don't think about it too hard. I'll do the top 5 at the end. What I'm going to do right now is just start here at number 6, go all the way down through the end, and then we'll finish with the top 5. Let's start now with watch number 6. In 6th place, the Citizen Peyton. $300, 41 millimeters across, only 9.8 thick. That is what I am talking about. That is awesome. Unfortunately, this only has a push-pull crown. I would have liked to see a screw-down crown. Yeah, in this affordable price range, the screw-down crown is not as common as the push-pull. This is an eco drive. That means a solar movement. I really like the texture here. That looks cool. I don't know how the gold one looks. That's interesting. Let me show you it on an alternate strap. You want to dress it down, you can put it on a gray NATO. It doesn't quite look right. Yeah, this Citizen doesn't totally match the vibe of a GADA watch, in my opinion. It's missing on the utility side. And I couldn't find a loom shot for this. It's kind of surprising, but I couldn't find one. Yeah, and therefore it gets a low field vibe. Score of 84. That's my number 6. In 7th place is the Citizen Weekender BM 7630, $300, another 41. Citizen likes those larger sizes mostly. Only 9.7 thick. Fantastic. Thickness is a big part of the score, and I love to see it. I love to see the watches at the top be thinner, have strong specs. This one also, unfortunately, only has a push-pull crown, though. Clearly, kind of borrowing elements from the Royal Oak here. Yeah, the Royal Oak has a rounded 6-sided bezel. This one does as well. I like these little chamfers, or is that what you call it? It looks cool. It's a really cool watch, and I've included it as a wild card for the end. I wanted to give this one a chance to be in the final top 10. This is another solar quartz as well. I think it looks pretty cool on the black NATO. It is a little bit more utilitarian than that other Citizen I just showed you. The loom looks pretty darn good. There is no loom on the second hand, but the loom that you get looks very strong. You get a bordered date, so that's nice. To a score of 83. In 8th place, the Bernie titanium bracelet. It's looking piloty, sorry about that. It's modeled after a Seiko. It's only $87. It's 37 millimeters. It does come on a titanium bracelet. That is awesome. It's a titanium watch, only 9 thick. It's a quartz though, so keep that in mind. It's a quartz watch. They might make it an automatic as well. No brand strength whatsoever. It does actually look pretty good on a parachute elastic strap here. You're going to get the field vibe. The loom is fantastic, full loom. That's awesome. And I think this is orange loom on the second hand. It's going to be beautiful in the dark. Total score of 83. 9th place is the Tissot PRX Quartz. $289 if you buy at Gray Market on sale. I think they retail for $400 or something, but you can get it for under $300. At least when I prepared the slides, I saw it for that price. It's 40 millimeters, 10.4 thick. Yeah, these Tissot PRXs are very popular. Will it last long term? I don't know. I mean, it is sort of a fad right now, the integrated bracelet sports watch. This is a great example of it, though. They've kind of made it available to the masses, sort of thing. And so many people followed suit as well. Unbordered date windows looking a little bit cheap. The loom is not good. And for alternate strap options, due to the integrated nature, you're only really going to be able to get strap options. Mostly what you're going to find is like silicone. There are aftermarket ones, I believe. This is probably a shot of an aftermarket strap. So you do have some other options, but not necessarily like hiking. So there's no field vibe whatsoever on this watch. Score of 82. 5th place is the Redwood Standard Issue Typhoon. $319, 38 millimeters, and 12.8. So we're getting more into the kind of normal watch size you see, the thickness at least. These ultra thin ones scored better, but the leather strap, as I mentioned, the philosophy leather is not the best. But you can dress it up by putting it on a steel mesh bracelet. I think that's a really good option. I have a watch on a steel mesh bracelet, and I love how that thing looks. I love how it feels. I think it's a great option. The loom looks good on this Redwood. It's a Canadian company. And they color match the day date. Day date is nice on a GADA watch. Score of 81. In 11th place is the Chronos EX Mechanical. 161 bucks, 39 millimeters, 11.4. This is my pick for a Rolex Explorer homage. I don't think it's ideal to get a homage, but if you really want a Rolex Explorer and you don't have more than a couple $100, Chronos is where it's at. There's many others that do this as well. I think Chronos does it the best. Oh, there's no H. Okay, sorry about the typo here. Yeah, 11.4 is actually a great thickness. More expensive ones are actually thicker than this and cost way more. Their bracelet even has an extension on it. So Chronos is a good Chinese brand, no question. The lume looks good. It's going to look good on a more field type strap. That Rolex Explorer is a classic example of a GADA watch. The real one does very well, and the homage actually does pretty well too. Score of 81. In 12th place is the San Martin Explorer watch SN 0107-G. 258 bucks, 38 millimeters, and 12.3. Beautiful green and gold. That's a fantastic combination. It doesn't look exactly like, what is the Tudor one? The Tudor Ranger has printed indices. This has applied. They're copying the Tudor Ranger handset. This is a little bit different though. The second hand is different. So that's cool. San Martin is known for good lume. Their lume looks good. And of course this will look good in the field. It kind of leans slightly more to the field side, but I think it's suitable for semi-formal occasions as well. So this is a great option and under 300 bucks. And it will be a wild card at the end. We'll see how it does. Total score of 80. 13th is the Timex Expedition North Titanium. It's a 41, so large wrist presence. Good wrist presence. 12.5 thick. It'd be nice if that date wheel matched. I do like the textured dial. I like the little mountain symbol up here. It's very cool. It's very fieldy. Your everyday looks is low. And on the black leather, that's super limiting. And the fact that it's titanium. The other thing with titanium, titanium, if they don't give you a titanium bracelet, that really exacerbates the maximum versatility principle. Like, it's hard to find, it's not like you're going to find an aftermarket titanium bracelet that's going to fit. Titanium always looks different based on the finishing. You're just not going to find something that matches. But if you want to wear it on a fabric strap, I think that's better. You know, they have this on this black leather. If you're going for the field vibe, I think this is a lot better. The lume looks decent on this. You get Arabics and indices, and that mountain is lumed. That looks really cool. Yeah, this is a good one. It received a lot of praise, and I think for good reason. It does have a screw-down crown. It's 200 meters water resistance. That is nice. Love to see it. Total score of 80. 14th is the Hemel Aland, the Valiant. It says Aland on the dial, but it's Hemel sells it, so I don't understand what's going on with the branding here. Kind of a Rolex Explorer inspired design here. It is unfortunate to me that the lume on the hands does not match what's on the dial in terms of what it looks like in the broad daylight. I mentioned before, I do actually like contrasting colors of lume. I think that's fun, but not if you have to make it be different colors in the daylight. So I would prefer they match just use the same paint for everything here. It sort of looks okay on this strap. It's a little bit fancy. Lume is good. Lume is a strong point on this one. It has an extension on the bracelet, so that's good. It's really helpful, you know, on hot, sweaty days. Sometimes you just need to let a little bit out. It's so nice to have that extension. There's no date on this, unfortunately. Score 79. 15th is the Sterling Jensen 3939 quartz. 89 bucks, only 89. 42 millimeters. It comes on a steel mesh already. Only 8.3 thick, that's nice. I like this mix of batons and Arabics. I think that's a great thing to do on a GADA watch. I could not find a lume shot, so good luck with the lume. Hopefully it's not horrible. It looks good on a parachute elastic strap. I think that actually works well. Score 79. 16th is the Void VO Mark II SI. If you want a digital watch, this one's a little classier than other ones. Only 8.4 thick. It is 42 across. Well, it's 42 top to bottom and then 36 across. So that's incorporated in the score here. Okay, according to this formula, 42 by 36 rectangle is equivalent to a 43.9, so 44 millimeter circle. So it's going to wear like a 44 millimeter circle. That's the idea. just to give you a comparison. You're not going to be able to change the strap, and I couldn't find a lume shot. It has a backlight, but I don't know what that looks like. It has the alternate date complication penalty, because there is a date on it, but you have to push a button to see the date. I don't like that, so it's a little penalty. Score 78. 17th is a Citizen Garrison AW0050-82E. Not to be confused with the good Citizen Garrison. No, this one is probably good too. It's not my style. It's $236. It's a 43, so kind of big. Only 10 thick. So Citizen is doing a good job on the thickness here. Another eco drive, so it's solar powered. There's something off with the numerals, and this is just way too much stuff on the dial. That's a big penalty. Just aesthetically, that doesn't really fit the GADA aesthetic. If you put it on a field type strap, it looks great. It just looks like a straight up regular field watch, so that's good. The lume is not particularly great. No orientation at the 12, for example, and these are so tiny, and they're already looking dim. Score 78. 18th is the Addy's Dive Black Bay Pro AD 2035. I don't know if they call it a BB Pro, but that's what it is. Copying Tudor. Only $68. 39 millimeters, 12.8 thick. It's not going to have the Traveler GMT movement. It's going to be the Office GMT movement. So that'll be annoying when you're trying to change time zones and stuff. You can track an alternate time. I think that's really useful. It actually looks pretty good on this parachute elastic strap. And the lume is good on this. Only $68 and you're getting great lume. I definitely like that. Score 78. 19th place, the Swiss Military Avenue Quartz. $218. 39 across, only 9 thick. It's looking very dressy. I know they say military, it's sort of military, but it's like dressy military. If that's your use case, maybe this is a good option. It's not a very broad use case though. You can dress it up or just kind of change the look by putting it on a steel mesh. That's the cool thing to do. No lume shot for this. It says loomed hands only, and they're very thin, so the lume is not going to be impressive. Typically, if I can't find a lume shot, that means the lume is not very good. That's the general pattern. Score 78. This next one has great lume. It is the Revelo Terra, 20th place. Lots of colors on this. There is a more subdued color. I probably should have done the black. $366. Pretty good thickness. Let me show you that lume I teased. Yes! The lume is so good. It is so rare to get a small seconds with such good lume as this one. And they've loomed the Arabics. The Arabics are huge. They're fully loomed. Everything is looking good on here. NATO strap. I don't know what movement they're using. It just says automatic unadjusted. It's not a Swiss movement. I don't know what movement gives you a small seconds, but that is cool. They list the weight as 130 grams. I mean, a bracelet watch weighs more. But for the look, it's a great look. The lugs with this utilitarian bracelet, there's a lot of shiny features on this watch. I think it's going to look so good. It does look so good in this product shot, but I think it'll look good in the real world too. I like the texture dial and how it gradates from light to dark. It's a beautiful watch. And as such, I've chosen it as a wild card. We'll see how it does in that final runoff to be live streamed in July. Total score of 77. 21st is the Tissot PRX Digital. $169, 40 across, 10.9. Again, with the alt date, you have to press a button to see the date. They put the day for you, but yeah. And also, you have an alternate time zone you can do, but it's on an alternate screen. So that's not particularly useful. It's not true dual time. And you can get other straps for this, like with that other PRX, but it's just going to be silicone kind of stuff. In the dark, the backlight looks okay, I guess. It's nice to have backlight. It's a cool option. I'm curious how well these things do, because it's kind of a weird mashup. The middle looks very plain. The middle looks like your kid's $20 Spider-Man watch. It doesn't look... It doesn't match the bracelet. The bracelet is so good, but then the digital part they put in the middle just doesn't match. There's another one in this price category that looks so good. Yeah, I can't hide it. I guess I'll just spill the beans. In the top 5, there's a digital watch that does thread the needle. There is design continuity. This one does not have design continuity. These are... I don't like it. That's my personal opinion. Score of 77. 22nd is the Bodary Landmaster bracelet. 152 bucks, 38, 13 millimeters thickness. And I like what they did here. It's kind of got a pilot crown. That's unfortunate. It's the Landmaster, not the Airmaster. So it should have kind of a field watch crown, in my opinion. But it's a cool look, and it's not copying anybody, from what I can tell. The orange is just breathtaking. At least you charge it up, it's going to look super cool. And this, of course, looks great on a field strap. Yeah, it's a cool field watch. I gave it kind of middle of the pack everyday points. 5 out of 10. Total score of 77. 23rd is the Matthew & Son Arcticus. 289 bucks, 40 millimeters, 11 millimeters thick. They do something weird with these Arabics. It's sort of a stencil dial thing. I don't get it. I don't understand what's going on here. It's strange to me. The loom is decent. It looks okay on a parachute elastic. There's something not hitting for me with this one. Seems like everything should be good, but it just doesn't do it for me. Score 77. 24th place is the California watch Lost Coast Solar. I really thought about getting this watch for my field watch collection. I think it's a great field watch. GADA-wise, I guess you sort of can. It's very casual. It's a casual design. I love the solar panel. They just made it part of the design. The loom is fantastic, although no second loom. If you want to dress it up, you could put it on a leather strap. Maybe you probably want like a black leather, but this kind of works. I don't think there's a lot of space with these lugs. Very tight lug area. Score of 76. 25th is the San Martin GADA SN0129. Yeah, they actually call it GADA. It's 261 bucks, 39 across, 13.4. It's a sports watch. You get screw down crown, you get crown guards, 100 meters water resistance. It's got some utilitarian looks, but it also has some sophistication. So I agree. I think this is go anywhere, do anything. I think that's the category of this watch. Loom is not great. If you want to take it in the field, on a tan strap, it might look a little bit more fieldy, but it's going to work fine. Total score of 76. 26th is the Pagani Design Spirit PD 1717. 68 bucks, 38 millimeters, 13 millimeters thick. Yes, they're just copying the Longines Spirit exactly. So that's unfortunate. The look of the Pagani Spirit is very good for GADA watch. So, you know, it's going to look good in the boardroom. And then, yeah, you put it on a field strap. I think it's going to look good on your hike as well. Loom is decent. Unfortunately, you don't get a date. It would have been nice if they put a date window at the 6 o'clock. I would have liked that. It's going to be very robust. Brand strength is not good with Pagani. You look on watch charts and Pagani's not going to be on there. It's one of the hot watch brands or something. Score 76. 27th is the Fossil Defender. 195 bucks, 46 millimeters, 10 thick. I think in some people's mind this is a GADA watch. Although why is it 200 bucks? But these sorts of things, they're not that refined. You just kind of wear it everywhere, and it does okay in every circumstance. It's 100 meters, but only push-pull crown. Fossil's not where it's at, but I still give it a passing grade. You know, it's a C grade. Loom, surprisingly, is great. I did not expect that. And this totally looks at home on a parachute elastic strap. It's going to be suitable for the field. It's going to be suitable for semi-formal things as well. It's definitely a GADA watch. Total score of 76. 28th place is the Thorn T003 Ranger Tribute. Only 34 millimeters. That's the highlight of this thing. That's as small as they get. I mean, there's a couple 33.5 millimeter watches in this video, but it's very small. I made this point in the past. If you do a color on your homage watch that the original brand doesn't do, that gives it some legitimacy to me. Why does it say Exploration Road? Why are they stealing the little flower thing that is Tudor's? That's not cool. Yeah. Okay, so maybe I'm not so fond of this one. It looks weird on this black strap. That's the challenge with red. Maybe on the tan it would have looked better. Loom is decent. No date. Score 75. All right, and here's the next Rolex Explorer homage. Like I said, we'll see a few of them. In 29th place is the Milfordic. Or is it Millifordic? I think it's Millifordic. Okay, so if you're looking for this, add an extra I here. AD S093. It's a 36 millimeter, so they're matching the size of that 36 millimeter Rolex. And like the Chronos, it has good lume. It looks at home on the strap. I just think Chronos is a little better. Score 75. 30th is the Aragon Caprice. 175 bucks, 44. It's a larger one. 14 thick. It looks pretty decent, but you get this fabric strap, nylon strap. You can dress it up with a steel mesh. That looks okay. What other colors do they have? Maybe black is the way to go with this one. That's probably the way to go. If this was a black dial, this would make more sense here. The olive color isn't particularly semi-formal, whereas the black is more. I like Aragon as a brand, and this is kind of their field watch. Total score 75. 31st is the Nixon Drifter. 273 bucks, 40 millimeters, 11 thick. They don't have end links here. It's weird to have straight bracelet. It's a dual time watch with the timing marker. So these numbers here, I believe, yeah, the numbers remain stationary, but you have a timing marker. That's a pretty cool complication to have. There is no date on this thing. All the color combos they have are kind of loud. Lume is not that great. I was surprised I could find a shot, but there it is for you. The strap, it doesn't make sense on that strap. Score 75. 32nd is the Picani Design Explorer 2 PD 1682. 107 bucks, 42, and 12 thick. If you really want it homage to the Rolex Explorer 2, here you go. Most of these Chinese brands do a Rolex homage. I didn't put them all in. I thought that would get boring. I just didn't want to overwhelm you with a ton of similar watches just with different Chinese names on them. But I chose Pagani Design for the Explorer 2 here. 107 bucks, 42, 12 thick. Lume looks good on this. The Explorer 2 sort of looks like a hiking watch. It doesn't really to me. It's more just kind of an everyday watch. I know they want you to think of it as a hiking watch. The numbers help with that a little bit. But yeah, to me it just kind of seems like a travel watch. Score 75. 33rd place is the Seiko Dress KX. SRPE 57. Almost 300 bucks, 40 millimeters, 11.5. I really like this one. I think it matches the GADA aesthetic really well. You can dress it down, dress it up. Let's look at I dress it down. I put it on black. You can definitely dress this thing down. The lume is good on this. Nice to have the day date. Be better if it matched. It's a black day date. And it's weird there's a missing index. It'd be nice if they had a little semicircle or something. Total score 74. 34th is the Rotary Avenger. 173 bucks. It's 38, I believe, left to right, and 11 thick. Good size. It's got that retro vibe to it. You can dress it down. I think that works pretty well. Couldn't find a lume shot. But yeah, this does double duty. You can wear it semi-formal, you can wear it casual. So they captured the GADA aesthetic pretty well on this. Score of 74. 35th place is the Orient. Oh man, I'm not reading that, but sorry. 225 bucks, 41.9 width, so 42, and 12 thick. 42 by 12, I know is a standard sort of thing. Push-pull crown, that's bizarre. I don't get that. It's definitely holding it back a little bit. You get that day date, that's nice. The strap does not look high quality. I would take it off that strap. That's not going to work with very much. That brown, that's kind of fancy brown, it's weird. So I would probably put it on a steel mesh. I think that looks kind of cool. Total score of 74. All right, in 36th place is the Casio G-Shock GWM 5610-1. 165 bucks, 43.2, 12.7 thick. I think this is the only G-Shock in the video. There might be a metal one later. I think there's a metal one later, but you know, for the plastic ones, the resin ones, I did the blue one because I think looks a little bit better than the black. Yeah, I think you can get away with wearing this in a lot of scenarios. I've seen people do that. It's a very popular watch. This is the cool one with the atomic timekeeping. It's amazing what you can get from Casio for not very much money. 200 meters water resistance, anti-shock, great magnetism protection with the digital movement. It's fantastic. It also has solar, tough solar, so you're not going to be changing batteries. You get a backlight on it. Now, you can You can get adapters. I tried to show what that looks like. You can get adapters for the Casio. It's kind of weird, but if you really want like a NATO style strap or something, you can get these crazy adapters. I would probably just leave it on the resin. I did buy an aftermarket bracelet for my DW 5600, and I mean, if I had gotten the steel one, I think that would have been better. I got a PVD steel. It's not comfortable. It doesn't look all that great. I'll put one on the screen. It's probably best to just leave it on the resin. Score 74. 37th is the JDM Military Alpha 3. $299, 42 by 12. I don't get this one. Like, same with the Swiss military thing. Like, I don't get it. Is it supposed to be sophisticated, or is it supposed to be rugged? Because it's not really doing either one very well. You can dress it down a little bit. The watch makes a little more sense to me when it's on kind of a fabric strap. I don't get the PVD bracelet thing. It's an option. Score 74. 38th place is the Loris RH965 MX9. $89, only 89. 42 millimeters and 11 thick. You get your push-pull crown, unfortunately. Like I said, most of these ones in the bottom price range have push-pull for whatever reason. You do get a date complication. Quartz watch. I mean, only $89. I think this is a better way to go than the Chinese homages. So at least this is an original Loris design. And you can dress it down. You can put it on a nylon strap. I could not find a loom shot. Score 74. 39th is the Certina DS Multi 8. Buy at Gray Market, you can get it for $235. 42 millimeters across, 13 thick. 13 thick. Yeah, this is Joma's shop. Little seal here, so you can see that's where you get it for $235. There's a lot of complications on this, and some of them kind of cancel each other out. Some of them are good, some of them are not. It does have a backlight on the screen, as well as loom on the Arabics and the hands. So that's actually really cool. And you can dress it down. It actually looks pretty cool for hiking. The pushers, pushers are a little fancy for hiking. Be better if they were just like flat, more streamlined ones, as well as the crown here. But it can sort of work for that. It's kind of casual. It's a little bit semi-formal if you need it to be. It kind of works. Total score is 74. 40th is the Bernie AM711 VM. $118, 38 millimeters across, 10 thick. Sort of like the Hamilton khaki, but no military Arabics, and then you've got this texture dial. Yeah, it's just a weird one. You can dress it up, and that looks pretty good, actually. The loom looks decent, although this is a render. Probably decent loom. None on the second hand, though. Strap is kind of weird, so I do think it looks better on the steel mesh. Yeah, how did they do 10 millimeters thick? That's fantastic, if true. I mean, I go by the spec sheets. I don't independently verify all these watches. It'd be sweet if I could somehow, but no, it's only 10 thick according to the specifications, and that's impressive. Total score 74. 41st is the Sestrian Chesterfield bracelet. $159, 40 millimeters, 12 thick. Good size, pretty good price. 200 meters water resistance with a screw down crown. That's awesome. It is kind of more of a field watch, but I think it looks pretty good for every day as well. You can definitely take it in the field. Tan might be better than black here. Loom looks decent too. You even get second loom. Great option. Score 73. Nice alternative to the khaki field automatic. Much cheaper. 42nd place, another Explorer homage. The Islander ISL 145. $285. It's a 36 millimeter. That's nice. 12 thick. Loom is poor. You only get the quadrants. I don't know why they did that. It'll look fine. Like any Explorer homage, it'll look fine on a field type strap. Their bracelets do not have an extension. That is one limitation of Islanders. Score 73. 43rd place, the Zeppelin LZ 127 Graf Zeppelin. This is the number you want, that 5-digit number if you're looking for this one. It's looking classy. It's kind of looking piloty. Maybe that was a mistake. It looks decent on a field strap. The loom is not that great. A fair option. Score 73. 44th place, the Nixon Mullet stainless steel. It's got one of these kind of oblong pillowcase, cushion case, with and you get straight links here at the end. It says loomed hands only. I actually have a photo of that. That's cool. There's the loomed hands. It looks okay on a field strap as well. I think this gets the look. It's the GADA idea. Specs aren't that great, though. You don't get a date or anything. You can do better than the Nixon mullet. And $250. You can definitely do better. See previous ones in the video. Score 73. 45th place, the Pagani Design Aquaterra A150. I mean, the hands are Aquaterra and the dial, it doesn't look like an Aquaterra to me. So they kind of missed the mark here. The bracelet looks bad. The Pagani Design bracelets are nothing to write home about. That's for sure. Loom looks okay. You get second loom. It doesn't really fit the field use case. Score 73. All right, here's a beauty. The Merci LMM01 Original Quartz. I really like Merci. 137 bucks, 37.5, 12 millimeters. Great size. It's not very robust. I really thought this would do better, but it just didn't. Let's see the alternate strap option. Yeah, you can put it on a stainless steel mesh. I think that looks better. I think that looks good. That's how I would do it. I'd put this thing on a stainless steel mesh, and that's how I'd go. It looks good for the office. I would say recommend a strap swap. So yeah, if you swap it to the bracelet, then you're good. Stainless steel mesh. Loom is passable. Not very good, actually. But there's something about it. The way the numbers are, one of the hallmarks of the GADA watch is that it should be clean and balanced. This is clean and balanced. Well, actually, this is unbalanced. I don't care for that, but otherwise, it's balanced. There's a little charm to that, actually, but clean and reserved design language, just simple. So this fits the bill there. It just has poor specs. If they beefed up the specs just a little bit, it'd be better. Be a lot better. 47th is the Ventus Field Watch 1. They call it a field watch. 300 bucks, 40 millimeters, 12.5 thick. It is an auto. Bracelet has no extension. I don't like the end links. I think this looks really weird. I don't know why they did it this way. The texture is really cool though. I like the crosshatch knurling on the crown. That's nice. But I don't recommend this one for a GADA watch. Score 72. 48th place, 47th of the ones I can recommend is the Wenger Terragraph. 280 bucks, 43 millimeters, 11 thick. It's a PVD one, which I don't think is appropriate. I don't think it's best for GADA watches. Loom looks decent on it. It's just the green stuff. The red, I don't know why it's so bright red in the dark. But yeah, you could, if you wanted to dress it up, because it's on this kind of black utilitarian silicone thing, you could dress it up with a brown strap. Now it's looking more like a pilot watch or classy field or something like that. You can dress it up. Score 72. 49th is the Walden Heritage Professional. 300 bucks, 40 millimeters, 8.6 thick. It's got an Ameriquartz movement. That's kind of cool. I don't know all the details about the Ameriquartz, but supposedly, more of the work is done in America. And so I do appreciate that. Put on a steel mesh and that bumps the score up. This watch does not have loom. You can see the hands are totally smooth steel. Total score 72. 50th is the Svalbard Noonday AA117G. They specialize in 24-hour movement watches. I think those are fun. I mean, if you get confused by military time, this one has the benefit of just doing 12 for AM and PM. That makes it a little bit simpler to read. I could not find a loom shot. I think supposedly the hands are loomed. It looks decent on a bracelet. You could get a straight length bracelet or you could get the steel mesh. I think that's a viable option. Score of 72. 51st is the Wenger City Sport bracelet. 160 bucks, 42 millimeters, only 8 thick. That's due to the quartz movement. There's a lot of red on here. I don't think that's great. I don't recommend it. Score 72. 52nd is the Tandorio GMT. $82, 39 across, 12 thick. They're clearly copying a Grand Seiko. And yeah, the quality is really not there. The bracelet looks bad. The indexes look bad. This blue looks fake and weird. It's not good. I'd stay away from this. 53rd is the Merci LMM01 Field Watch. It's also a quartz. It's just kind of a different dial design. And it has the same loom as that last one. And I recommend it if you swap out the strap. 54th is the Kuoe Oldsmith 90-001, 368 bucks, 35 millimeters, and 10 thick. And yeah, you don't have to get the gold one. Probably should have put up just a naked steel one. I think that would look better. It's kind of a classy field watch. It's almost just a dress watch, really. And it doesn't come with lume. You can kind of make it like a field watch. The gold is definitely not working, but the steel might work for that. Next is the Praesitas Rec Spec. 295 bucks, 38 millimeters, 11.8. The crown in this interesting 410, 415 position. Lume looks pretty good on this watch. And it does look pretty cool on the mesh bracelet. It's a whole nother look. This strap is very utilitarian, so yeah, you want to dress it up and just kind of have all-purpose solution. Mesh is awesome for that. 56th is the Baltony Field Auto. 53rd of the ones I can recommend. It's 100 meters, screw-down crown. Put it on a bracelet, I suppose it works. It's clearly just supposed to be like a Hamilton khaki field automatic. Instead of the syringe hands, they have like Flieger hands. The lume is good on this, actually. They did color match the date. That's interesting. That's the Baltony. 57th is the Timex Easy Reader. 57 bucks. This might be the one the old Pope wore. 35 millimeters, very small, 9 thick. You know, Timex makes just good everyday watches. It is more on the formal side, but being a Timex, you're not going to worry about it, and this will serve a GADA purpose for sure. The strap does look a bit formal. You could put it on a mesh bracelet, probably cost about as much as the watch did. Of course, the coolest feature of Timex's is the Indiglow. I don't know why more watches don't do this, but yeah, it looks so cool. And it still somehow survives even with a huge penalty for 30 meters water resistance. 30 meters to clear it up. I didn't mention that anywhere in the video thus far. I've got questions about it because people constantly leave comments like, you're not actually diving 30 meters below the ocean. The thing is, with 30 meters water resistance, it doesn't mean you can dive 30 meters into the ocean. It means try not to get it wet. A little splashing, it'll probably be okay. If you submerge it at all, there's a good chance it's going to wreck your watch. So don't stick it into like even a few inches of water. That'll totally wreck it. So there's some misunderstanding about what 30 meters means. That's what 30 meters water resistance means. And so it's not suitable as a GADA watch. You really want 100 if you can. And you can. If you watch this video, you can't make an excuse, oh, I don't know of any watches that have 100 meters. A bunch of them do. Sorry, Timex. In 58th place is the Matthew Tissot City. 186 bucks, 42 millimeters, 8 millimeters thick. It's looking classy. It almost looks like they even have a screw bar for the strap. It's got kind of an alligator pressed leather. You could sort of make it like a field watch. It's really not great for that. It does not come with any lume. Score 71. Another Timex. Here's the Timex Standard 40 millimeter. Kind of retro look to it. Really dark Fotina. That's kind of odd. It's got the Indiglow and it has lumed hands. That's looking really good. It looks pretty cool on the steel mesh as well. 60th is the Arcadia Durafine Field Watch. I said this in the Field Watch video. I don't like how this thing looks. Here's your lume. It's disappointing. I suppose you could put it on a silicone strap. That's one option for PVD steel is silicone. And silicone's sort of an all-rounder type of a strap. If you can stand silicone. I don't really like how it feels. But I think look-wise, silicone is nice. I think black silicone would be best on this. All right. And, oh no, there's still one more it's possible for me to recommend, but not the Citizen Tsuyosa. Sadly. This is 61st place, 360 bucks, 40 millimeters, 11.7. It's only 50 meters water resistance, and it has a push-pull crown. I think these are overpriced as well. It's cool that it has the integrated bracelet. I like that. There are other Citizen watches that are better, though. Yeah, actually, there's a really good Citizen watch with an integrated bracelet in the next price range. It's a major contender. This one's not a major contender. It's like I said, poor specs. It does have a sapphire, but yeah, I don't know. And if that doesn't bother you, the push-pull in the 50 meters, then maybe you pull the score up a little bit. It's just not excelling. It really is just kind of more formal. It's not getting the casual side of the GADA watch. Maybe there's something like a business watch that would just sort of be on the semi-formal side. It's not quite a dress watch, but it's also not casual. It's semi-casual, so it's just not a great GADA watch. Send your hate mail to me, and I will read it and respond unless you're cruel. If you're cruel, I'll probably just block it. If you have a legitimate reason why the Tsuyosa is the best GADA watch, please let me know. 62nd is the Rotary Regent, $325, 40 millimeters, 12 thick. They kind of took design elements from multiple different watches, but they made it their own. This trapezoidal link there, I don't think I've seen that before, so that's very cool. I like the color. I like Rotary. I've never seen a Rotary, but I like their aesthetic. They carry like 1,000 SKUs though. They carry so many watches. It's kind of overwhelming trying to navigate what products they sell because there's just so many of them. This one looks cool, but it doesn't have the specs. Doesn't pass my threshold. There's got to be some that are not recommended, and this is one of the ones not recommended. Score 70. 63rd is the Cadison Business C8242. $100 only, 40 millimeters, 12 thick, and it's an original design from what I can tell. You get a butterfly clasp, which is not the best for comfort or for utility. It's a cool looking bracelet, kind of like the PRX. Interesting texture on the dial. Score 70. All right, the last one is possible for me to recommend under my scoring system. 64th place is the Void VO3D BR. Just a very simple watch, simple design, kind of a minimalist design. And swap out the strap. I could not find a loom shot. Per description, it's loomed hands only. It looks okay. It's kind of more of a fashion watch. Score 70. 65th is the Blagger Bronze Black Bay. Not going to see a lot of bronze in this video because bronze is not very good for a GADA watch. It's very hard to change straps. I mean, you can put it on a tan fabric strap. That would look okay. Brown is kind of a limiting color as well. Black would be better. This is an homage to the Tudor Black Bay, but it has a fixed bezel. So it kind of forced a new path here. It says chronometer. It says 200 meters. It's not 200 meters. It's not a chronometer. So there's just lies all over. Score 70. Yeah, the rest are not going to be recommended. I'll go through them. In 66 is the Swatch Twice Again. $85, very cheap. Disposable watch is the idea. It's very thin. It's made of cheap materials, so not recommended. All right, one of the ones I own, the Cadison Day Date C8185. Yeah, I actually like this watch enough that I bought another one. So I can't exactly say that it's a horrible watch, but for GADA purposes, it's too blingy. It's too fancy. The field vibe is super low. If it had a higher field vibe, it would be recommended. The quality of the watch, it's not a high quality. I do like it, how it looks though. It'd be nice if it had anti-reflective coating. And then yeah, the bracelet's jingly jangly. It's not super high quality bracelet. There's some weird things about it. I didn't review it yet. I will review it. And they offer it in gold as well. The gold, I really enjoy the gold. Although 40 is a little big. I think this would be better if it was a little smaller. Can't recommend it as a GADA watch, but I do enjoy wearing mine. I wear it pretty often, especially like to semi-formal occasions. 68th place is the Timex Marlin. A very pretty looking watch, very cool. They did a good job on that. Just not getting up to snuff for my scoring system. Next is the Mondane Helvetica. $197, 40 millimeters, 8.5 thick. This actually did well in the travel watch video. I think it was in the top 10 of all travel watches due to the price, because I always do a price adjustment at the end. It's just very clear the way you have 2 times. You can set it to whatever time you want, the second time. Just get a whole nother crown. That's really cool. But yeah, it doesn't have loom, it doesn't have a date. For travel watch, I really didn't even worry about loom whatsoever. So there are reasons for a travel watch. I thought this was really pretty good. GADA, It's a little bit fancy. It's a very cool watch though. I really thought about picking this one up. Only 30 meters. That really holds it back. It's unfortunate. Score of 68. 70th place is the Blagger OP homage. Oh, this is another one I own. Okay. Yeah, we're getting to the end where I've got these ones that are not all that great. You wouldn't really want to bequeath them to your heirs or something. They're going to be like, Blagger. My kids, if they inherit it, they'd be like, oh man, what is this thing? How do I get rid of it? But yeah, it's 74 bucks. I put up here the 39. I'm wearing the 36. I really like the 36. The 39 scores better. I was really hoping I could get one of these watches to actually pass my threshold. It's good. I mean, the Oyster Perpetual is a good watch. It's weird. It has a screw down crown, but they say 50 meters. So I don't know what the deal is. It does have a nice bracelet extension on it. And by nice, I mean, and I reviewed this whole thing, but I will quickly show you. You can adjust it to like 7, 8 positions just on the fly adjustment. So that's really nice. It's like almost, I think it's as much as an entire link you have in micro adjustments. It's actually more than an entire link. So that is a highlight of this watch. You don't get a date though, unfortunately. Lumen's poor, those kinds of things. So I enjoy mine, but I realize they're not the highest quality GADA watches. And that every time I do these videos, it's like it changes my understanding of what's good and bad. And yeah, the Chinese ones I don't think are the best. I enjoy wearing them, but I think I would enjoy a high quality GADA watch better. Who's to say? Anyway, okay, I'll keep going. 71st place is the T-Cell Marine watch, 326 bucks, 40 millimeters, 9.5 thick. This is clearly a high quality watch, but it doesn't pass my scoring system, and there's no lume and stuff. It is pretty looking. It is more formal. 72nd is the Maven MUS Plus 06, 313 bucks. Wow, they're charging a lot. 38 millimeters wide, 14.5 thick. Crazy thick. They show it on a parachute elastic. That's cool. Parachute elastic and steel mesh are underutilized strap options, and they're nice. They're both really nice. It's really easy to adjust the parachute elastic. It's really comfortable, and that if your watch head isn't too heavy. On a heavy watch head, the parachute elastic isn't so great. But yeah, score 68. 73rd is the Skagen couple, 116 bucks, 44. So it's a larger one, and it's 10 millimeters thick. Get this interesting PVD steel mesh. You don't see that all that much, if at all. Not recommended. 74th is a Corju Explorer 2 Homage, black dial, 119 bucks, 39 millimeters, 13.5. There was one up higher, so if you're getting an Explorer 2 Homage, go for the other one that was up higher. If you want an Explorer 2 Homage, the Pagani's design is better quality. Not recommended. 75th is the Triwa Ocean Plastic. It looks ugly. I don't get it. Score 68. 76th place is the Tandorio Square, 12.5 thick. It looks really cheap. That's the problem with these. They don't get the details that great. I mean, like, the case, they got the case exactly, probably. It's probably finished to a high degree. These little rounded links in here look nice. But then the dial, like the logo, it's a hot mess. I don't know what it is. Is it just bad product shot? It's hard to tell. I would look at some other pictures. But the cool thing about the Patek Philippe is it's like 8 millimeters thick, and this is 12.5. So you're missing the Nautilus experience if you get this one, because that's kind of the whole point, is it's 8 millimeters. Not recommended. This is a really cool one, and an original design from what I can tell. Cadison Grid C8193. Only 79 bucks. It ends up being not recommended after all these factors. 78th is the Mondaine Essence. 245 bucks only for Mondaine. That's kind of nice. But it's plastic, it's 30 meters, it's a push-pull. I think it will be an enjoyable watch to wear, and you'll look at it and it's going to look good, but it's not do anything. It's go anywhere, but it's not do anything. And it's not really go anywhere either. You're not going to take it on your hike, probably. Oh, all right, another one that I own. Getting them all out on this first video. I don't own fancy watches in this type. All right, the Parnas Datejust. It's actually, I really like wearing it. Silver dial is incredibly versatile. You can wear this with anything. It looks fancy, especially with the Jubilee. It looks fancy. And I've heard people take this bracelet, and there's other watches that this Parnis bracelet is compatible with. So some people just buy the watch just for the Jubilee bracelet. It's not, the clasp is kind of weird. It's not very good. But yeah, it definitely didn't pass the threshold. Lume is poor on this, really poor. I say not recommended, but I wear this thing all the time. So it's not high quality though. Even though it looks cool, it's not particularly high quality. And again, why is it 50 meters, but it's screw down? It has a screw down crown. I don't know. 80th place is the Spinnaker Hull Riviera. 315 bucks, 42 and 15 thick. That is on the larger thickness for this video for sure. Very thick. Color match date, that's nice. Total score is 66. Oh, Seiko SNZG 11K1. It's not recommended. I don't think it's particularly high quality. It's push-pull crown. I mean, you go through here and it's like, what is so bad about it? Well, nylon strap is a huge penalty. That's part of it. If you swapped it to a steel mesh, that would add 5 points to this. You'd get up to a 69. Still not recommended though. When you compare it, at least how I set up the scoring system, when you compare it to the other ones, just does not excel. 82nd is the Slava Spetsnaz Attack. There's a lot of things that are called this exact thing, but here's the number if you need it. Only 70 bucks. It's quartz. It looks pretty cool, but it's not recommended. 83rd is the Bernie Pillow. This is an homage of a Hermes watch. That Hermes is so cool. That Hermes is in the final runoff. It's a contender. The Bernie obviously is not a contender. It's a cool look though. Score 66. 84th is the Filippo Loretti Attaché, a Datejust homage. I actually think that this one is better. The Parnis beats out the Filippo Loretti. I mean, technically they have the exact same score. So I didn't mention this. When watches have the same score, I tie break them by which ones I would prefer to have. And yes, I would much prefer to have the Parnis over the Filippo Loretti. I think the Parnis just looks a little better. The bezel is nicer. The Filippo, Score 66. 85th place, the Seagull D581. 175 bucks, that's a lot. 43, 12 thick. It's got a lot of military vibe to it. You see this strap is used on so many other watches in this video. I just pulled straps, a few straps, and I thought this one looked pretty cool. And it does look cool on a lot of watches. It's kind of canvasy, rough, military-looking strap. They have a tank in the background, shooting mud in the air. Not recommended for your GADA watch needs. All right. 86th place is the Glock GW 23-1-22. Glock Perfection. Oh, they say precision. No, Perfection. Glock Perfection. Yeah, I'm a fanboy of this brand. I own several of their products, but I would not buy their watch here. I don't care for the watch. It's not great for your GADA watch needs. It doesn't score well as a modern field watch either. So I did all the scores at the same time, and I looked what is the highest score in. Some watches are going to be in multiple video series, but this one, it's not good as a modern field watch. Gave it a try as GADA, not great as GADA either. 87th is the Bulova Surveyor. Almost 300 bucks. Bulovas are expensive. 39 width and 12 thick. It looks really cool, but it has very poor specs. 30 meters. Bulova makes a lot of their watches just 30 meters with push-pull. That holds it back. And any of these videos I do, Bulova's always going to kind of be at the bottom because they just are not up with the times. They're not doing 100 meter screw down. That would help it a ton if they did that. Yeah, that would add 9 points to this. It'd be a 73. It'd at least be passing. It would pass the class if they did a 100 meter screw down crown. Not recommended. Next is the Addy's Dive AD 2029. 155 bucks, 39 millimeters, 13 thick. It's looking really cool. It looks like a Datejust. You don't have the magnifier. It's a pretty looking watch, but does not pass my scoring system. Maybe business watch, I don't know. Maybe I'll do one of those someday. Probably not, but you never know. 89th place is the United Nude Stealth Digital. 90 bucks, 45 somewhere, and 13 thick. It's very thick. It looks so weird. It's such a huge watch head, and then the strap is thin. It's very bizarre. It's kind of modern art or something. The screen looks poor, but it's only 90 bucks. It's just a weird one. It's definitely a weird one. Not recommended. This is sad. I thought this was going to be one of the best GADA watches, but it's not one of the best GADA watches. 90th place, almost right near the bottom. Third from the worst watch is the Orient Bambino V7. I've thought about getting an Orient. I mean, seeing this, I really don't think I ever will. But yeah, it's 300 bucks. Size is great, 38.4 by 12.5. A good size. It's a beautiful watch. I can't knock the looks. The looks are great. In-house movement. That's cool. 30 meters push-pull is bad. And then there's other bad things about it as well. That's too bad. I would prefer if it was a passing grade, but it's not a passing grade. Score 63. All right, final two. 91st place is the Void PXR5-BL. This is the one that made me think, oh, I can put some digital watches in, because it really doesn't have any complications. You have a date if you push one of these two buttons, and you have a backlight, but that's all it does. It doesn't do anything else. It's very simple. It's just not recommended as a GADA watch. Score 63. And in last place, a very cool looking watch, the Bernie E-Ink Square E002. The display looks beautiful. Very cool display, but not recommended for a GADA watch. So that was all the watches, except for the top 5, which I'm hiding behind my face here. I'll show you those now. Top 5. Fifth best of the affordable watches is Thai Daily Solar Watch. 275 bucks, 38. Only 11 thick. We're seeing better sizes up in the top. That makes sense. It's titanium. It has a cool timing bezel on here, a timing marker. You can use that for whatever you want. The beginning of a time you're trying to time, the end of a time you're trying to time, whatever you want. I really like that idea of just a plain little marker you can put wherever you want. And there's no knurling on the bezel. It's just streamlined. And it's kind of subtle anyway. So even if it's not right at the 12, if it's somewhere else, it's still going to look really good. It is a solar watch. That's really nice. You don't have to change out a battery. You have the precision and the shock resistance of quartz, which is really nice. If you're going to wear this thing every day, not worry about beating it up, that's really nice to have. If you want to dress it up, you could put it on leather. Since it is titanium, you're not going to put it on a steel mesh probably. That would look a little weird. You could try it. It might not work. Lume is really cool on this. I do like that. How they have the square here and it says Thai. It's a cool watch. It's a really cool watch. It's going to work fine in the field. It kind of comes on a field strap, and then you can dress it up a little bit too. Total score of 83. In fourth place is the Veer S5 Tradition. 269 bucks, 40 across, 9.4, only 9.4 thick. That is fantastic. Very simple design to it. Not a lot of text on the dial cluttering it up. That's good for GADA. It's shown here, bracelet, no extension. I'll put that on the screen so you can see. Yeah, you can buy it with the bracelet. I priced it at the bracelet price as well. You could also put it on a steel mesh. If you own a steel mesh, you could save a little money, get it on the nylon, and just use the steel mesh if you want. I don't know. Their nylon strap looks really good too. Clearly, I use this throughout the video series on so many watches. It's an alternate strap option when I want to show like a more fieldy look. I took this strap and I put it on things, but the Lume is fantastic. They're a cool watch company, and this watch is high quality. It's good. I definitely recommend this. Score of 84. Even cooler than the Veer S5 is the HZ Watches HZ01. 230 bucks, 38.5, only 9.8 thick. That is fantastic. I love to see that. This is so great. It's a grade 5 titanium case. Grade 5 titanium is much better than grade 2. These different colors are for the different, chapter. It's a different ring that you can have here. You can have a black ring, blue, brown, or green. I like the circular date cutout. I love this hertz thing here. That's so cool. 32.768 hertz. You get a day date, and the date cutout being sort of like a rainbow here. That is so cool. You get minute markings. Even though it's titanium, you could put it on a steel mesh bracelet, and it still might look okay. I think that's a viable option. The lume is decent, but not great. It's definitely a cool watch. I believe they're an Australian brand. You do get anti-reflective coating. Yeah, very cool. Definitely like this one. And if I didn't already mention, the top 5s from every price range go into the final runoff. So this is a contender for the final runoff. Score of 85. In second place, the one I talked about earlier, this is the digital watch that did so well. It's the RZE UTD 8000, and it comes on the bracelet. You can get it on a nylon strap. They offer that as well. You can get it on the bracelet. They also have black and blue. There's like a red one too, I think. The blue is a more versatile color choice than the yellow. I just think the yellow is cool. There's not much else that looks like that. I might be inclined to get the yellow if I were to buy this. $199 is a bit much. It is also really thick at 13.4. So those are some downsides to it. The screen actually looks pretty darn cool. Get your day, you get your month, you get the date. That's pretty cool. It does lose a few points for a lot of complications. Gains some points for that perpetual calendar and that sort of thing. The backlight is really cool. I like how that backlight looks. That may be on the negative display version. I bet that the positive display version is opposite of this. You'll have black numbers and then glowing everything else. That was the only lume shot I could find though. This is cool. It has the field vibe, but it also has good everyday looks. So yeah, this is a really cool one. Score of 87. And in the first place, what's it gonna be? It kind of had to be a Citizen, right? It is the Citizen Garrison BM 8560. And I've mentioned this so many times, but people were so upset I didn't have this in the Field Watch video, the original Field Watch video. I thought because it had the triangle, it was a pilot watch. It doesn't have to be a pilot watch just because it has the triangle. It's a field watch. It's definitely a field watch. It's a good GADA watch. It didn't score all that well on my original scoring system for that video like a year ago. It obviously scores well as a GADA watch. This might be the highest score in the entire video series. Oh no, there's another one that gets a 95 or maybe even higher. But you've got solid lume. The green dial looks really, really solid for, backpacking, hiking, camping. There's a blue one too. I don't know why that's not on here. There's a blue color as well. Day date, that's color matched. Solar movement, only 11 thick. They even have case hardening. Citizen's good about that with their titanium. Yeah, it's titanium. It's a really good watch. It's a really cool watch. And it's the top watch. So that's it. That's the end of the video. Well, okay. That's the end of this segment. All right, so those were the top 5. The next video I'm going to release exactly 1 week from now. It's the category I'm calling quality. And you'll see some more Citizens, the Tissot PRX, and many others. Oh, let me go down there and show you. Yeah, this is the one I'm going to do next week. That's the one I teased, the Citizen, what is it called? Zardoc? What is this called? The Citizen Zenshin is right here. That is a fantastic watch. Tissot PRX, that's a famous one. Everybody's familiar with that in the watch world. Another Citizen. Citizen is so good at this. They really do the GADA thing. Seiko Alpinist, Formex Field, RZE, Valor. Some cool watches. Some really cool watches in this next category. So check that out when it comes out. And if you've watched any of my videos before, you know that I always share a Bible passage at the end. I make all the watch videos in service to God. My goal is just to share His Word with people. I just pray that people will be drawn to them. So that's what I'll do now. Now it's Bible time. All right, welcome to the Bible time. This is my favorite time of video. I'm not a pastor or a biblical scholar. I say that so you don't get confused. I don't have any authority. I'm just a Christian who loves sharing the Bible. And today I'm continuing our exploration through the Galatians 5's fruits of the Spirit. And this is fruit 7, faithfulness. Passage comes from Galatians 5, verse 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law. Those who belong to Christ Jesus have crucified the flesh with its passions and desires. The Greek word is pistis. According to my study Bible, the meaning used in Galatians 5 is faithfulness, sincerity, good faith, fidelity. It means being true to your word and being deserving of trust. But already you can see there's multiple dimensions to us. The way it's used in the New Testament, it seems to have kind of different meanings. I'll try to explain it as best as I can. It's got the idea of being true to your word, like doing what you're going to say you're going to do, but also the idea of believing in someone or something, like I have faith. Sometimes it's translated as faith, just straight faith. Sometimes it's translated as faithfulness or fidelity. So there's kind of two concepts going on here, but as it turns out, they're very deeply woven together. You know, the ability to have faith in something and being true to your word, being a reliable person that people can trust. There's a saying that trust is a two-way street. And people say it takes two to tango. And that's really what's going on with this word here. Faithfulness always has two parties. There's a party who's doing what they're supposed to, and then there's a party who can rely on them. And I think this Greek word pistis is kind of context dependent. Who you're talking about. Is it the person who's trusting, or is it the person who's being trusted in? But that's what faithfulness... So you just kind of have to look at the passage to understand which side it's talking about with the faithfulness. Because the Bible talks about how we should be faithful. It talks about how God is faithful. Great is thy faithfulness, O Lord, our Father. But it's a great thing because when you have that going on, when you have the faithfulness, you know, the trustworthy person, the person putting their trust in the other person, it strengthens everybody. Ecclesiastes 4, verse 9 through 12. Read at so many weddings. I think it was read at my wedding. Two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Also, if two lie down together, they will keep warm, but how can one keep warm alone? The one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. And that's why people do it for marriage, because you've got the husband, the wife, and then God. Those are the 3 strands. And ideally, everyone should be trusting each other. Everybody should be putting their faith in each other. And when that happens, they're much stronger because of it. But I've got a 3-point outline for this today, fruit of the Spirit. Point number 1 is the faithlessness of Israel. Number 2 is the faithfulness of God. And number 3 is the need for faith in Jesus. So point number 1, faithlessness of Israel. I'll start with a passage from the New Testament that uses the same word as Galatians 5, pistis. The passage, Matthew 23:23. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You give 1/10 of your spices, mint, dill, and cumin, but you have neglected the more important matters of the law, justice, mercy, and faithfulness. There's the word, faithfulness. You should have practiced the latter without neglecting the former. So you should do both. You need to give 1/10 of your spices, but you also need to observe justice, mercy, and faithfulness. And the question is, how were the Pharisees unfaithful? Well, the passage goes on to call out their greed and self-indulgence. So verse 25 says, Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You clean the outside of the cup and dish, but inside they are full of greed and self-indulgence. Their heart wasn't in it. They were just trying to check the boxes. And I think it expands, maybe we expand later on it, but they were seeking their own personal glory instead of the glory of God. The New King James Version, this one actually, it says extortion rather than greed. I'm doing the NIV translation, but this one actually says extortion. That implies greater unfaithfulness than just greed, because extortion means that they're taking advantage of people. They have false pretenses. They're manipulating their flock. They purport to serve God and be full of righteousness, but in their hearts, they're serving themselves, seeking glory for themselves. It's a heart matter. Well, and I guess their actions too, because they're greedy and they're extorting people. Here's a couple of other examples of Israel being unfaithful in the Old Testament, and obviously there are so many. If you read through the Old Testament, you really get that impression that God loves Israel so much. He just wants them to follow him, and again, they are unfaithful to him. The Bible uses some somewhat racy language to describe what Israel does. Here's a couple. Jeremiah 2, verse 26 through 28. As a thief is disgraced when he is caught, so the people of Israel are disgraced. They, their kings and their officials, their priests and their prophets, they say to wood, you are my father, and to stone, you gave me birth. They have turned their backs to me and not their faces. Yet when they are in trouble, they say, come and save us. They have idols that they're worshiping. Where then are the gods you made for yourselves? Let them come if they can save you when you are in trouble. For you, Judah, have as many gods as you have towns. And people literally did this. They had house idols, and there are just all these gods that they had that they were putting their trust and reliance in. So God wants us to be faithful, just like in a marriage. The husband and wife need to be faithful to each other. They shouldn't be going to other people. They need to reserve that relationship for each other. And God wanted Israel to reserve their worship only for him. Pretty major commandment. Thou shalt have no other gods before thee. Very important. Okay, here's another passage. Isaiah 1, verse 2 through 4. Hear me, you heavens. Listen, earth, for the Lord has spoken. I reared children and brought them up, but they have rebelled against me. The ox knows its master, the donkey its owner's manger. But Israel does not know. My people do not understand. Woe to the sinful nation, a people whose guilt is great, a brood of evildoers, children given to corruption. They have forsaken the Lord. They have spurned the Holy One of Israel and turned their backs on him. The unfaithfulness of Israel is the point here. That's point number 1. Point number 2. The faithfulness of God. God is faithful to us. There's a couple of verses. Deuteronomy 7:9. Know therefore that the Lord your God is God. He is the faithful God. This isn't the Greek, but it's the same concept. Keeping his covenant of love to 1,000 generations of those who love him and keep his commandments. So there's a covenant. There, just like the covenant of marriage, Israel and God were linked together. They were supposed to be in this covenant where Israel would follow God's laws, keep his commandments, and God would deliver them from all their troubles. It would deliver them to the promised land of milk and honey. And yes, God kept up his end of the bargain, but Israel did not keep up their end. Lamentations 3, verses 22 through 23. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. That beautiful hymn, great is thy faithfulness. I won't sing the whole thing, but I love that hymn. I definitely love singing it. It's beautiful what God has done for us. And because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed. God loves us so much. He just wants us to be with him, for us to serve him. I have some more verses. Okay. Yeah, God will never leave us or forsake us. Deuteronomy 31, verse 6. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. I mentioned earlier that it takes 2 to tango, and that Deuteronomy passage earlier, it said he keeps his covenant love to 1,000 generations of those who love him and keep his commandments. Yeah, how long is 1,000 generations? That's a long period of time. That passage points out that we have a part in it too. And any relationship you have with a person, both sides have a part in it. You can't have a good friend who never calls you back, who lies to you. It just falls apart. And that's the same with our relationship with God. So faithfulness, you trust each other, but you also keep your promises to each other. You also look out for the well-being of each other. Trust is a two-way street. If we draw near to God, he'll draw near to us. James 4, verse 8. Come near to God, and he will come near to you. Wash your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. Our hearts are often the problem here. It's not just our outward actions. And God can see into our hearts. He knows our motivations. He knows if we're trying to serve him with a pure heart or if we have ulterior motives. We need to purify our hearts. We need clean motivation. And that double-minded thing, that's exactly what Jesus was accusing the Pharisees of doing, because they were outwardly righteous. They were the cup that looked clean on the outside, but inside they were filthy. It's a package deal. It's a high level of intimacy that we have with God, and he's not fooled by any of our deceptions. Okay, so my final point, third point, the need for faith in Jesus. When we put our true belief in God, when we trust him to carry us through life, that is faith. Pistis. So I talked about faithfulness being doing your part of the bargain, but it's also trusting in another. And the ultimate relationship we need to trust is our relationship with God. If we don't trust God, everything's going to fall apart. I've heard that faith and fear are opposites. Being anxious means we don't trust God. We need to trust God. When we trust God, it allows us to be faithful to him, i.e. observing his commandments, and it allows us to be faithful to others. That cord of three strands, God has to be a part of it. It helps the strand to be stronger. If me and my wife, if we're just so linked in, we're so faithful to each other, but we don't have God, that is a weaker cord than if both of us also trust and rely upon God. We follow his lead and we put him first in our lives. That's what it is to truly be faithful. Matthew 22, verse 36 through 38. Jesus was asked by a Pharisee, "Teacher, what is the greatest commandment in the law?" Jesus replied, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it, love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these two commandments." Love and faithfulness are intertwined. If you love somebody, you will trust them. It's possible to have a kind of lesser love, but the highest level of love has to have trust. And love without trust is never going to be very strong. James chapter 2, verse 14. What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone claims to have faith but has no deeds or works? It says deeds here. Can such faith save them? Suppose a brother or a sister is without clothes and daily food. If one of you says to them, "Go in peace, keep warm, and be well fed," but does nothing about their physical needs, what good is it? In the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. James is making the point that faith without works is not true faith at all. He doesn't say it in those exact words, but if we're just saying we have faith, and a lot of people do that, if we just say, "I put my faith in Jesus," but it isn't followed by our actions in our lives, then our faith is dead. It's not true faith. And James also goes on in verse 26 to say, "As the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without deeds is dead." Our faith has to actually amount to something. There has to be some sort of evidence in our lives from our deeds that the faith is active. That's the true test of faith. People have faith until things get hard. Do they still have faith? Do their deeds still follow? That's the true test. And that's true in a marriage too. When a marriage is tested, that's when you find out the true strength of the marriage. So my conclusion on this word, pistis, faithfulness, fidelity, faith, is that there's a lot intertwined in this word. I guess it's really those two things. And when I put my notes together, I didn't fully connect the dots here, that there are two parties. In the three-chord strand, there's three parties, but there are two parties with faith. There's always two parties. The one who trusts the other, and they go back and forth, but there's two elements to having faith in someone. That person keeping their word, and also the other person trusting in that person, and back and forth. Both go back and forth. I don't know how that works with God exactly. The thing is, his end of the bargain is there. He will keep his promises, and he will again and again give us new opportunities to make things right with him. I don't know if there's any limit to the amount of times that God would forgive us. So I don't remember the exact passage, but Jesus, this was covered in the sermon on Sunday. Our visiting pastor mentioned, so Peter asked Jesus, oh, do I need to actually forgive somebody 7 times? Like, thinking that would be some extreme amount. Like, if somebody hurts me 7 times, do I still need to forgive them? And Jesus said, no, 70 times 7. That's how many times you need to forgive somebody. 490 times. And yeah, he means just, you always forgive. And that's what God does for us. He's asking us to do it because that's what he does for us. I don't believe there is a limit to his forgiveness for us when we come to him in faith. And Jesus calls us to do the same thing for our brothers and sisters, to have that same level of forgiveness. Jesus chastised the Pharisees for being greedy and self-indulgent, double-minded. Their actions appeared to be righteous, but their hearts were in the wrong place. They were serving themselves rather than God. I find that my love for God grows the more that I trust him and the more that I serve him. And my ability to follow his commands is also proportional to my trust in him. You know, the more I trust him, the more I am able to serve him, serve others, be honest with people, keep promises, be available to help others in their times of need. Like James was talking about, you know, when someone doesn't have clothes, you just say, oh, well, hope you find some clothes. No, you should give them the clothes. You should help the person. And that all comes from a true faith in one's heart. And it's a fruit of the Spirit. That's the thing. So the word deeds in James, I can see how easily it is to be confused about that, because it's easy to think, okay, this is self-will motivated. The person just wants to be a good person. That's how you have deeds with your faith. I mean, I'm not going to say it's bad to be a good person. That doesn't make sense. But what James was getting at is, I think he was responding to this idea of faith alone. All I need is faith. And James is saying, yes, all you need is faith, but your faith is dead if it doesn't bear any fruit in your lives. And I do think that faith itself is a gift of the Holy Spirit. The fruit of the Spirit is faithfulness. And I explained how faithfulness is both trusting God and being trustworthy at the same time. That comes from the Spirit. That is a gift of the Spirit. When we spend more time with him, when we read God's word, that's something God gives to us as a gift. Nobody achieves that on their own power. I'm convinced of that. And yeah, this attribute of faithfulness, it comes from God. That's in his fundamental character. That's one of his divine attributes. And if we can be faithful as well, then that's a gift from him, and we should serve him faithfully. That's all I had on the fruit of the Spirit, faithfulness. And now for a prayer. Lord, thank you for bringing me through this study of fruits of the Spirit. We're at fruit 7, and I'm very excited to get to the last 2 fruits. And Lord, please lead me in whatever I should look at next, whatever we should look at. And please bless everyone who's watching this, and I just pray for your provision, and please keep us all safe in these turbulent times. I pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen. And may the Lord of peace himself give you peace always and in every way. The Lord be with you all. See you next time.